We have a belief system that you don't serve school districts by solving their problems. You serve school districts by building their capacity to solve their own problems. This often requires shifting from a compliance orientation with short-term strategies for really reallocating resources to try to improve student performance, to developing collective capacity that really deepens student learning because of your collaborative culture and an inquiry process for improving practices. There's a fundamental role for district leaders, principals, and teachers, and that is to collectively create a coherent system of continuous improvement. This acceleration of district progress is attained by focusing efforts by establishing a few key conditions: clarity of district goals and school priorities for student learning, a culture of shared leadership and systemic collaboration, a coherent instructional framework for deepening student learning, and evidence-based inquiry cycles for continuous growth and learning.
Most people have experience writing a plan that I think is more to plan your budget. So you're thinking more about how to allocate resources in your plan more than what is the desired impact of each of these actions that I'm writing down. So we're looking at a plan to be something very specific and very actionable. What are the specific steps? One of the most important parts of our plan is identifying those critical skills and behaviors that we're trying to build in students. Because what we see a lot when a school or a district has identified goals is it's really an outcome. They want to see student learning improve, but the how to improve is oftentimes lacking. And with our process, we really help them think about how are you going to meet that? If you want 80% of your students to improve, what's the way in which that you're going to do that? And what are the critical skills that you're trying to build in students that are ultimately going to lead to that outcome that you're trying to get to?
Well, I think at the very end of the day, we're going to take a look at student achievement. And I think so if we really talk about success, everything that we do, why we exist, is for our students and making sure that our students are achieving it at high levels so that whatever it is that they decide to pursue when they leave Hesperia Unified School District, that they're going to be successful, that they're going to be contributors to their community. That's how we're going to be able to measure that success. But again, that goes back to our process with Innovate Ed. What truly does that look like? When we get to, really keeping the main thing, when those are the discussions, when that's the dialogue that occurs, when our principals sit down together, when our teachers sit down together, I think that's when we're going to see that, the magic is going to happen.
It is essential that schools and districts develop a culture of shared leadership and systemic collaboration. This is achieved when district staff, principals, school leadership teams, and teacher teams collectively create formal structures and processes for systemic collaboration and co-learning that guide 6 to 9 week learning cycles. As a result, the focus of school improvement efforts provides defined autonomy for principals, teachers, and district staff to pursue more innovative practices and develop capacity aimed at improving student learning. Teachers, principals, and district staff can then collectively support school improvement efforts by shaping culture, modeling co-learning, and using change knowledge to improve structures, processes, practices based on the needs of every school and the needs of the students that are in their care.
The collaborative work has really benefited from this process, because it just speaks to that systemness. So our leadership team is a strong group of teachers who goes back and leads the other strong teachers in their grade level. The work that we do to continue to focus our direction and really just kind of deepen our learning during our Innovate Ed days, they can take it right back into their grade levels and continue the work. And the best part is that they're looking at evidence of learning. They're really doing some great instructional design work with the new curriculum that we received this year. And while the new curriculum is very overwhelming, they're doing it together. And we know that when we learn collaboratively, we're able to go to greater heights.
Well, so much of the work that we do is about everyone coming together and aiming at a target. and having a focus. And in order to do that, they have to be able to make sense of all of the resources that they have at their fingertips. And a coherent instructional framework really brings everything together and helps people to have a common direction from which they can derive a focus area that best meets their needs. It prevents everyone from shooting darts at targets all over the room and helps to bring us all to the same dartboard. It's about working together to learn by doing, and so using the data to make decisions, implement those decisions, monitor the impact of those decisions, and then adjust as needed. Through that process are what we call inquiry cycles, or cycles of inquiry. Teams of teachers, principals, district office or organizational leaders are able to come together and continually refine or revise their instructional framework as needed in order to tighten it up and get on the right path of where they need to go.
We also had a new adoption, and the adoption incorporated close reading, and that helped guide us for our implementation of what our area focus was going to be. This was really exciting because as a K-6 school, we all sat down and said these are the essential components we want each student to achieve each year and build upon it. And so we came up with something that the whole staff agreed upon. We see tremendous growth in evidence from the students, and then we were able to come together and look at that evidence and say, wow, it's happening. And that really makes you want to just go again and let's do it further and take it further. So that was really exciting for us.
The inquiry process is important that it happens amongst all teams as well as within a cohort of teams. So whether you're talking at the district level, school, or teacher level, there needs to be back and forth information around their systems and student improvement. External accountability and external measures of student success are used as benchmarks to establish the growth targets that are measured by local measures. So this way, the system, whether it's the district or teachers or the school site, can use this information to gauge whether or not their improvement initiatives are helping to progress students learning at either an accelerated rate or acceleration.
I mean, in order for us to close the gap in achievement or to ensure that all of our students are successful, from special ed, English learners, so on, we have to work in a coherent way. And that means from preschool all the way up to high school, for every level has clarity on exactly what the challenges are, and that we tackle those challenges together as a team.
There are 3 critical success factors for building school district capacity to create a coherent system of continuous improvement: strategic focus, learn by doing, and know thy impact. Districts and schools need a strategic focus to create a coherent path of improvement that links student success indicators with high-yield instructional strategies and assessments of learning. Teachers, principals, and district staff need to collectively engage in learning by doing to develop collaborative expertise for deepening the learning of all students in their care. And it is essential to know thy impact on student growth at the classroom, school, and district level by engaging in cycles of collaborative inquiry to continuously improve teaching and learning. Districts on the Move strive to create these key conditions for long-term improvement of student learning, equity, and performance.